Meh. Well, the stream is going, and there's Como saying hello. Well, dang. Well, dang. Ba 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 ba. So, I don't really, there's a slight problem with this. I don't really have music for, like, fancy stuff. I have music that suits this, more classical environment, shall we say. Environment where people are wearing big old metal boots. I really should have done colored lines for the background. How about while we're waiting, we'll just quickly slap some color on that. Although I'll probably have to save it separately and figure it out. Alright, what am I looking at? And I got, where are my lines? Where are my lines? Safi, where'd you keep your lines? Are those the lines? Those are the lines. Then we put a little layer over that, make them one of these. And then I just gotta take colors. So many color layers. Can I just go over here and get, you know... Doesn't really return what I need. I need grays. Oh, it's blended. Alright, whatever. I want to make this a 50% so that it's not overpowering, and I just slap that over. Nope, preferably with a nice, strong brush. That has none of the complications your usual brushwork does. See, look at that. I'll have to figure out what I want to do color combination-wise later. So what's this? The clouds. Apparently the clouds is where I get my... yoink. I take... Oh man, Safi, you really should have properly done your homework on this, buddy. Cause the wrong colors are everywhere. On this layering. On the plus side, once it's there, I can just copy from this layer directly. You don't have to worry about that stuff. The sun. Burr, 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 burr. What's gonna work though? Wawas. Give me the wawas. Color the wawas. Give the wawas a lick of color. See, that's the fun part. Is as you do this, it just gets a little easier every second or so. So the cloud layer, go over there, pick up the color, slap it over top. The best part is, if I don't like it, I can just put it all back. I'm playing Astroneer again. To whomst it may concern. Probably nobody, but you know, might as well bring it up. Astroneer. Who doesn't like Astroneer? A lot of people I can imagine don't like Astroneer. It's a bit of a... Man, I remember when Astroneer was like barely anywhere. It's just like this weird ass game where you pull oxygen out of like the goofiest spaces. I'm gonna need a different color for this. Who does this? There you go. Pick up this color off of clouds. Oh, Bill. Yeah, Bill. Wah wah wah. Wah wah wah. What is it? Skin Rose Soul Man is such a good name for a song like this. I'm probably gonna not have that colored. There, take it back. Alright, well that's that. Take the tree color, bring it over here. Take this color, take it over here. Probably just the mountain stuff for that. Where's my mountains? Where's my mountain color? It's a nice bluish thing I use for this. It was an easy job, just paint the mountains nice and blue. Bada boom, bada bing. And look at that. Looks 15 times more like this picture isn't just some Genghis bingusing it up. Just gotta do the clouds. I think I'll just do a pure white for that because it's just supposed to be like clouds and stuff. It's already using pure whites. I know some smart asses are like, should never use pure whites and pure blacks because it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And I'm like, I don't care, man. I don't wake up in the morning and go, man, today is the day I'm going to follow my color theory homework that I never did because I'm not a registered artist. I'm not, in fact, licensed. I cannot legally perform art for you in public. Man, this looks terrible. But we'll see what it's like when we get there. Alright, where were we? It's Senator. Dread Astroneer. I think Astroneer's big... Like, how do I explain how I feel about Astroneer? I feel like my big problem with it is that it has, like, a lot of potential for being factorialized and that you automate a bunch of stuff. But it's a game that feels like it's way more fun when you're not doing any of that. It's the kind of game where I seriously wonder why they put all this effort in when it just doesn't sell you in a good way. It just doesn't sell me, and I'm very annoyed at some people. I'm actually kind of miffed right now. I'm kind of annoyed. But let's get to it. How about we get to it? How about we put on a little ditty. We put on a little ditty. We'll put on a little ditty and we'll just go for it. Let's not overcomplicate things. Also, Astroneer's changed so much over time, man. All right, so apparently we got instructions on how to read this, right? Italics is some narrator guy. Normal text is actual stuff happening. Dialogue is in bold, and suggestions are welcome. I don't know what that has to do with, like, reading instructions, but whatever, man. I guess it's important that we know. Maybe at some point it's gonna ask us to fill in a sheet or something. Yeah, oh wait, man, it's not like 2 million years. It's like a reasonable year count. 1,204 years after Wait, 1204 years after the ascension of our Lord, raptured Jesus to the heavens, we are in the season of harvest. So this implies that... So the narrator is a person. Is very strongly implied by this framing device. They are not like an ambivalent narrator. They are like a person who was there. Otherwise you'd be like, it is the season of harvest. The heat is still high in the east of the continent, but little by little the cold will be replacing it in Caldera Clough's county. Counties are fairly... I don't know about that in medieval times. I don't know the way Americans like to think it's used. The city-state prosperous by its commercial approach, since it was far from the border of conflict with the western towns. I like how we're on the East Coast. East Coast, East Coast. I don't know who Ron Perlman is. I can't help you. Also, I like how we're doing fucking mercantilism in the middle of the Dark Ages. Yeah, sure, buddy. That period of feudal wars and theological crusades framework for the future generations, even though it finished 30 years ago. What you're trying to say is that a period of feudal wars and theological crusades is the framework, because it's still in effect. So basically, even though we live in a world where, like, 30 years is a hell of a long time for how long you are alive. Like, anyone who's been in that war is a fucking decrepit corpse by this point, considering healthcare and everything. Assuming they came out of that war clean. The consequences of wars are still palpable. 30 years is not... Like, considering the era, right? It takes, like, 18 years for you to get your generation back. And then those people gotta learn and build stuff. Like, ugh. Shit took time back then, man. There just wasn't the kind of mechanized labor to let you stomp a city out of the ground overnight. The consequence of what is still palpable. The racial Sir, you're talking about racial segregation, not separation. The racial separation is still important even among members of similar species. I guess that... Why? Is it about birth rates? Are people less fertile when they go across species? The power vacuums that the conflicts caused helped the You should really put a comma there. That is literally when you should always use commas, is between two verbs that are part of different clauses. The power vacuum that the conflicts caused... Actually, is it, though? Or is it just me being like, this sentence needs a rewrite? Help the proliferation of banditry and monstrosities that stalk the small towns and travelers. Bandits generally don't hang out in towns, though. That's a different kind of crime. As for monstrosities, I don't know, man. That's like any modern D&D setting. Like, oh no, there's a tiefling. I guess he's here to solve our big rat problem. In one of these trips... Man, this translation is fucking garbage. Which admittedly is, like, not a bad thing. You could have worse problems, which I hope it doesn't have them. In one of these trips, a convoy of... Jesus Christ. In one of these trips, now a convoy of carts of a long chain that brings supplies... What trips? You didn't bring up any trips. Like, it talks about bandits and monstrosities, and then it goes, and then about trips, as if we've been talking about, like, the fucking economic networks between people. Among these carts is one that contains our hero, Anon Moose. Name? A young man, already in early adulthood, with 17 planting seasons behind him. Oh my god, you're gonna write like that, buddy? You want to slow it down there, buddy. That's for people who've earned their fantasy degrees, not for like some dude writing on fanfic.net. Also, not for these kinds of translations. It looks so goofy. Maybe in Spanish it looks really sexy. I don't know. Also, early adulthood? 17? In the 1200s? The man is a fucking adult by this point. You do know that the concept of 18 is when you're adult is like... doesn't work like that, buddy. Doesn't work like that. Like, there are different degrees of adulthood. Like, adult in the sense of, like, buddy, you go out there and you go plow that field. That happens way earlier. He's already done planting seasons. He's already been in the field. He's already fixed his own shoes. Man's done shit. Do not call him an early adulthood young man. Odds are, he's gotten up to some crazy shit. Man, festivals back then were fucking nuts. Oh, these classic styles are crazy. What are you talking about? God, I love how the translation is so bad. I'm like, I can't even know what the original sentence is really trying to say. Anon mutters, shaking his head. Shaking his head. Absorbed in the latest prints on classical imperial art. Only they would think of a revival of this classic and least little defined style. I thought, tilting my head. So, what? What? So we're doing bolds for speech. And we got dashes for, like, when things are being said. And we're just not doing that here? Motherfucker, you can't just say, oh, instead of quotes, we're going to use M dashes. Okay, fine. And then just not use them. Also, bold is really hard to read in most textiles on this website unless you got one set up for it. Like, I've noticed that bold looks fine in certain fonts, but mostly it just looks like shit and does not work as consistently as it should. Especially not in darker styles. Maybe in white because of how your eye perceives blacks compared to the smudgier whites here. I thought tilting my head. So, let me get this fucking... Hold on, we're going to look at the original. I'm starting to lose my mind over the inconsistency of this fucking writing style. I know just enough Spanish that I can probably point at this and go, yeah. Okay, so I want you to look here, right? In the original Spanish, they fucked it up. Also, no period. Now, admittedly... Okay. So this is first person style then, right? Because I know that verbs conjugated in like that, those are first person. Oh no. Apparently this can be third person. So that's just the translator shitting the bed, I guess. So let me put this down. Let me put my little beans down for a very odd reason. The translation is just the worst. We're not even several paragraphs in, and I'm already like, yeah, something went horribly wrong, and the original text is already kind of lacking. Great. Admittedly, we'll move on. I don't know if I can do narration if the text is making me go, what? Like, why do voices? I'm just gonna trip over my own feet. Especially on the consultants like this one, Stegostar. I've already debated with him arduously about this revival. At least we try. I like how even in medieval times, Anon finds a way to be a fucking shit poster. Get raw cornstarch. No. I can't believe they haven't even invented beans on toast yet. City of Volcaldera in sight. Get ready to go down. Hold up, my motherfucker. Is the original just like, get out of the fucking car? No, the original, yeah, even... Oh, it can also mean to get off. To get off. I guess. Man, even Google Translate didn't figure this one out, but being a little smarter figured it out. So let's just put it down. Translation, not going to be great. Gonna have to stomach this. Uncertain about the original Espanol version. The driver shouted, taking Anon out of his thoughts, which is weird because he was first person here, but that's entirely in the English version, which is not in the original. Which is weird. I guess some verbs can't just end in O then. Even though they're third person, which is really weird. Can't believe Anon got isekai'd to the Skyrim intro. And he didn't even get arrested! Man didn't even have the courtesy to get arrested while he was here. At this, Anon saves the engravings and checks the straps of Zaba well fastened after jostling so much other journey. That's actually perfectly reasonable to do. After all the little fucked up anachronisms, you actually get something right. Although, I don't know why this man is walking around in full plate. That shit boils you alive. Not good for long-term wear. Although, I guess it's Anon, and like his whole thing is you can't see his face, so... I guess that's the joke. Fair enough. I'll let it pass. I'll let it slide. His trusty armor. Plate armor. I like how Anon can afford a fucking full plate. Also, isn't the whole point of 18 as the age of adulthood is that that's when you can start wearing plate? The man is 17 and wearing plate. What the fuck? I'm sorry, man. We're going a little too far with this. Anon's too much of a nervous wreck to violate border sovereignty. He stands at the border like, hello? Is anyone manning this border station? With a green tablet inherited. Oh, he inherited it. You do know that, like, a lot of plate armor is quite bespokely made for its wearer, right? Like, this shit isn't, like, a general shape and size. That has saved him on more than one occasion. I like how you say that. Plate armor is fucking... I don't think people understand this, but back in medieval time, right? Before people started getting, like, good armor-piercing technology or guns, or, you know, like, the thing that killed people in full plate is that they fell into the mud, couldn't get up, and drowned to death. That's what kills you. Plate armor is busted. If we're in the 1200s. I hope we can get some magic. I want someone to cast a fire spell at his ass. And then he goes, ha 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 ha! Like he's fucking Italian. Since he left home 2 years ago, he has never been without full protection, especially without a helmet on. The man is embarrassed of the fact that his face looks like a baby. It's got a baby face, just big old cheeks. He turns to the coat of arms with the right shoulder pad with his fingers. The moose coat of arms, a mouse that defeated a lion with imperial motto that De parvis grandis servus irit. There will be big pile of little things? What? Snoot Perio ambush, shame as all of us. I can't believe... I mean, admittedly, you could make it. Like, there's enough people on that card that you could make it Anon, Trish, Reed, and Fang, right? You could do that. Small things feed big things, huh? He thought wistfully. So, we established that we do this, and then we just do none of this. Hold on, we need to see if this is in the original. Spanito version. The original Spanish version does at least have the closing one. So, again, this translation is fucking terrible. I'm sorry. I've done translation work, and I know that you have to make lots of decisions, and shit's a pain in the ass. But, man, this is the little stuff you really should be doing better. Also, you can't... If you're not including quotation marks, it looks weird when you have, like, the lowercase after the... I wish my efforts had led me to something more than this life of constant suffering and persecution. I think getting a trade license in Volcaldera will help me be something... Another mercenary. Facing the crowd all night long. I'm going to die in combat. I believe the pays with I would live beyond semi big. So Anon, poor guy, is like, ugh man, shit sucks, but you know, if I can just get a job. Putting his thoughts aside, he puts his on his shoulder pad and it. The rattling changes set of cobblestones. Like, I don't know, man, but like cobblestones, dirt road, it's hot as hell. It's only been an hour since prime time. Damn reptilians. Prime time? What the fuck is prime time? Are we dealing with television now? Ora prima. Is that like noon? It's probably just noon, right? No, it's prime hour. That is just prime time, I guess. What is this? Damn you skinny cuts. If I wasn't caught in your trap, I'd be halfway to rock bottom fall. Lowers his backpack at two-handed. So Anon is full plate two-handed. You might as well go for it, buddy. You might as well go for it. If you're gonna walk around in full plate, I mean, he actually got some decent shoes. Volcano Guild Academy. Okay, you can't have a guild academy. Like, it's either an academy or a guild. These are different buildings with different functions. Volcano, several legends within the kingdom had emerged, such as his parents, and the director of the center himself, as far as you know. Director of the center. Director of the center. Ay, ay, ay. What the fuck is director of the center? The center's director. Okay. Okay. Like, I have nothing against Anon going two-handed in full plate. If you're going full plate, like, you might as well get used to the fact that you have to put up 0 defense and go ham. Although, personally, I go for an axe. Get a bit more of that chopping power, man. Swords are cool for prestige, but axes just cut like crazy. Or get a spear. Be like double defensive. Be a little asshole. Trip people and stab them in the neck. And they didn't just train adventurers. I thought it was a mercenary. They're classes that also produce other illustrious members, such as chefs, engineers. What the fuck does this building do? Could I be for the letter of recommendation? What do they do? Do they just teach whatever? Is it just like, yeah, whatever teacher we got, that's what we're teaching, huh? So apparently Director of the Center, by the way, is not, like, far off the translation. I think the original Spanish version is just a little... I wonder if it's just, like, that's just how Spanish works. If you write Mexican, this is how it comes out. If you direct it, you know, if you don't know the stuff. Which is, you know, why direct translations and localizations are big business. Shaking his head at these thoughts, Anon knew. I always like it when the translation's better than the original, because the people doing the translation are of a higher professional quality than the original. Like, the original guy is just a fucking idiot who's writing, like, some shitty-ass fic and doesn't give any flying fucks, and then the translation team is like, okay, how do we turn this into legible English? Because it's not even legible in Spanish. You know, that kind of stuff. I love it when that happens. It's the best shit ever. Guildmaster Spears. Fuck yeah! He better actually use a spear. It's funny. It's a good joke. I find it funny that they're called spear truckers, but there's also a guy called Spears. He's got a spear on his lapel, and in the thing he's from, he uses a spear. It's like the dumbest shit ever. I love it. Been a difficult journey, mostly because he refused to get out of his fucking armor. You have to make like, do you have any idea how long it takes to get into full plate, man? Do you see all of this shit? Do you see that chainmail? Do you know that he's wearing a gambeson under there? Shit's a lot. This was his only chance. I like how this... So this man has a full plate before he even shows up to work. The man's not even properly educated. He's already, like, fully geared up. That's just weird, man. I'm not going to buy my kid full plate until I know he's actually going to use it. Jesus. What an investment. His only chance of avoiding up his catastrophic absurd conflicts over lenses and barony of an extraordinary levy. The main building lived up to its name. It was a post-imperial style. I like how we're at least building up that there's, like, some sort of imperial art movement. I don't know why we're discussing this at all, considering what these things tend to be about, but I like it. Thumbs up. We're actually discussing culture. Made entirely of wood and stone. Wow, that is so descriptive. I love the fact that we're describing this building as wood and stone. Thanks. Resembling a castle fit for a bear, more open with square with multiple windows and entrances is glass. There we go. So it's very spacious and open. You could just say that it's very spacious and open for a castle-like structure. He cannot get out of his place. His squire died of typhus. Well, you know what? And Mr. Bennett, you got it down. Down pat. The entrance still looked quite empty. Why still? There are a few colorful reptiles. I like how we're just doing the fucking video game, the opening, but but he assumed the class hadn't started yet. Or so, at least I hope so. In order to capture them as little as possible. When he reached the front door, he was glad to see that it was open. Even though it was so early. It would have looked like an idiot if he had to wait there, loaded with everything. Man, I can't believe I'm waiting in front of the front door at full plate like a loser. Upon entering, I like how upon entering, he found himself in a huge major corridors and staircases. He thought himself how lucky he was to have learned to read interpret maps when he was young. I feel like map reading is not like a sophisticated skill. Like, reading and interpreting maps is sophisticated when you're dealing with nature because you have to interpret, you know, like, what's it called again? Landmarks? But a building map is never really that abstract because you can just count. At least put him right back to the guild boss's office. It looks like the big boss's office, I muttered to myself. I love how we're just switching POV all the fucking time. I'll admit, I have issues with some of the fics that are like POV swatching all over the place. I like this because it's so bold and in my face. I feel my cheeks hurting. Ow! Imagine, then take out the earphones and sees all the Argonians. And he looks at Anon and goes, how dare you, Nervar, hang out with all these fuckers. Jesus Christ, Nervar, you've let slip. You are not cooking. We need to do you a little glow up, buddy. Get you some of that Dunmer pride back. It was no, oh, it would have been Chimer, right? Whatever. I don't care about elves. Come in, said a deep voice, the gutter voice. Ugh, I like how he's called the Barbarian King. Motherfucker runs an academy guild and is a barbarian. So, did that come with his house? Like, he bought himself an office and he got the chair with it, or what? Human, or perhaps Neanderthal, was quite massive. If he stood up from his seat, he would tower over several heads. Jesus Christ, he was twice as wide. Goddamn. He would probably take Anon's two-handed sword and go, what's this butter knife? And I was sure it's too mad than the experience in his short life. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's how he became the big man. Jesus Christ, Anon, what a fucking obvious statement you're making. Who are you? Asked the giant, seated in his carved chair, every as impressive as the throne in some courts. I feel like you could have done with this, just as a throne. It's as impressive as a throne. Or as the Imperial Throne! Let's call it as impressive as the Imperial Throne. Makes him sound nice and big. You should have received a letter from some time ago about my arrival, Mr. Spears. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be, like, there's, like, fancy terms. He probably want to be called King Spears. His Royal Majesty. I am Anon I Moose. Oh, God. I love how terrible this looks in English. Because it's like, Anon, and then he just says I, and then he says Moose, in 3 separate sentences. Like in Spanish, it's probably fine, because it's yo, but... My father sent me here, but it's a long journey. It took me 2 years to cross this fucking continent. Why don't you guys build a train? What is a train? God damn it, do you have any cars? Oh man, this isekai sucks. I got my driver's license for this. Spears brought his hand to his face thoughtfully. Alright, I thought you wouldn't be able to cross your continent on your own. My apologies for doubting the abilities of your master. Sir Daniel Fortescue? Fucking Daniel Fortescue? Get this shit out of here. Isn't that the guy from Medieval? God damn it, it is! And I will say, your dad's way better in death than he was in life. Or maybe both. He laughed gutturally. Hold up. Hold up. I need to look something up. Oh. Okay. Alright. He always had a gift for teaching. I was hoping he ended up airing his two-handed sword style. Mr. Fortescue just swings that shit like a madman. Hope I can live up to his legacy. I mean, his legacy, he might be dead, but his legacy's still getting built. It's kind of weird. With a hint of sadness, so his letter explained the whole situation. Yeah, but it arrived like 2 minutes before you showed up, Anna. You have any idea how fucking slow mail is in this time? It's not any faster than you are. We don't even have, like, the goddamn Roman Pony Express shit. Yeah, right, I see you've already covered everything you need. Can you look into his backpack? He just shows up in Weapons at Arbor. Come on. I'll give you a sheet with your classes for this upcoming semester. You're in luck. The new school year will begin in a few hours. Walking through the still empty halls, Spears tells him about the classes that he will be taking this year. Music, math, potions, languages. I can only pronounce it, of course. Fencing, tracking, bestiology, and magical aptitude. So we got monsters and magic. Cool. I like how this is all in like uppercase, but this is all in like lowercase, even though those are also subjects, so they should be of the same, no. Also, it's math. Why are you signing such civilian classes? You know, I could never be a musician. And he strings the guitar and goes la 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 or something like that. Alright. By Dagoth, the farm equipment escaped. Nervar, get in the net. What? Just call me Spears, son. I'm a barbarian. I have no sense of taste. I have no style. I have no style. Has no style. He stands up and takes him by the shoulder. So I like how we're just fucking... Like, what POV? I don't know, man. Sometimes Anon gets first person for like a split second. Just for entertainment. And let me tell you, if you keep with that defeatist attitude, you have no other choice. Anna, you're gonna be cooking if you don't fucking man up a little bit. Goddamn. Uncomfortable with the context, Pierce pulls his hands away. I don't know, Spears, but we teach the battles. I like how Anon's already gotten into a fight. It's implied that Anon has blood on his hands at this point. I've already had my hand full with them. I'm going to fight them alone. I'm going to fight other people's battles. I'm trying to stay afloat. Mr. Spears, I'm wearing full plate. You have any idea how much a single attack of Shocking Hands is going to do? I'm going to be dead. That spell does 1d6 damage, sir. I have 1d6 hit points. Anon, you're a fighter. Shouldn't you have 1d10 and a decent con score? Do you think my parents thought about that when they pulled me through Cargen? And Mrs. Spears like, hey, is it too late for you to become a wizard or something? Have you considered swapping classes this late in your... Okay, I just have to verify. I'm thinking of, yeah, 3.5. It does, in fact, do 5 points of electrical damage. And you get a plus 3 bonus if they're wearing plate mail. Or any armor made of metal. Or they're made of metal. I like how it's also like, or made out of metal, or carrying a lot of metal. Like, you know, if someone's just walking around with a hand, with his arms full of ingots, you get a bonus to smack him. Also, fun fact about 3E spells that practically no one in the fucking world knows about. Let me look it up. I want to look this up. Hold up. Hold up. We gotta look up how spells work. Please, one moment. Touch spells and holding a charge. Nobody knows this, because nobody in the goddamn world ever reads this section. And I found out about it. It's like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool. That kind of makes touch spells a little sexier, actually. Where is it? In most cases, you don't discharge a touch spell on the round you cast it. You can hold the charge indefinitely. You can make touch attacks round after round. If you cast another spell, the touch spell dissipates. Some allow you to touch multiple parts of the spell. You can't hold the charge to such a spell. You must touch all of them in the same round you finish casting it. So if you miss with Shocking Grasp, that shit's still stuck on your hand. You still got a shocky little buzzer hand. You can just smack someone else later down the line. Wait a minute, the 5e version is like 1d8 lightning damage. You can't make opportunity. Doesn't it have like advantage that they were wearing armor? Did they change that? Hold up. I gotta find a way to... Let's get rid of this. Let's just get rid of this. How about you? How about we get rid of this? Shocking Grasp! Oh. Okay. Is there a way to like... Oh, what? Actually, there is a way for me to do this. Hold up. My dad said it's calm as a dumpstead. Yes! For spell... He's like, oh my god, I can't believe I have to get this kid the fucking respec. Can you imagine Git shows up to your room, he got a letter of recommendation, and like the first thing you have to do is give him a respec? Oh! I'd be so mad. I just sit down where I stood and go like, oh my god. Here we go, player's handbook. Uno momento. Por favor! Man, I love that stupid ass, what's it called again? Drake and Josh joke with the little robot that goes, por favor! Like, what else could a man want out of life but a little robot that says, por favor! Goddamn. Don't, okay. Yeah! In the original version, you have advanced attack if it's wearing armor made of metal. I guess 5th edition got hit with the bouncing stick, and they're a bunch of lamos. Did you hear the rumors? Famous mention Logan Paul used shock touch on a Skaven. You can't just shock a rat. They're just little guys. Where was I? Oh yeah, so Spears. We all deserve a second chance, Anon. Even if you think the world's against. What do you mean a second chance? Other than being a little bitch, Anon hasn't really done anything that requires you to go, Anon, you will deserve a second chance. For what? Anon could only clench his fist involuntarily. Yes, that could only. It's kind of implicitly involuntarily. A second chance, he thought. Man, I love how inconsistent we are with everything in this. It's like this translation with us chap fucking GPT. I never had one. Just an opportunity for them to step on my neck. If they were wrapped up. What am I reading here, okay? I'm very confused. They resumed their journey and greeted with some teachers of the guild, Spears, were having to the dorms. I figured your issue probably first were private. It's not much. But the old So instead of living in Skin Row, Anon lives in an old ranger's cabin. Anon isn't a fucking ranger. He's not going to use a bow. He's going to be like, oh man, I'm going to pull back the string. It's so hard. I thought strength was a dump stat. Yes, in the books. But Anon, do you have any idea how fucking beefed up most rangers are? You have any idea how hard it is to draw a bow? That shit's hundreds of pounds, baby. Why do you think I use a bow? Leverage. Leverage. Although, admittedly, I feel like Spears would use a sling, and he'd hit you in the face with a big boulder, and it'd be like thrown with such force, you're like, oh god, who needs a helmet? You need to be in the other country for him not to hit you. I love how he gets a fucking rage. The Ranger's cabin was crying Moses. So, he gets 2 stories? Why does this Anon get 2 floors? With a living room, bathroom, a kitchen on the lower floor, and some basic furniture, a couple of bedrooms upstairs. He's multiple of them. Only one of which has a bed, the other was empty. Then how do you know it's a bedroom? Outside, there was a small bush for storing firewood and a garden growing some fruit and vegetable for personal consumption. Jesus. I love how Anon gets like a luxurious apartment. At least in his right arm. You only need the one. Especially if he plans to use a crossbow and a winch. You can just wind it with one arm. Thank you very much. It's more quite what I expected. You think so? This institution is the most prestigious. Children from important families, blah, blah. Kind of interesting that we're starting this off with Spears. Like, we haven't seen Naomi or anyone else. Make it sound as if it was a pig's Wow, Anon, you're just gonna call the fucking Barbarian King? Hey, buddy, do you know what normal people live like? That may be true, Anon, and this isn't in bold. Oh, God, I love how inconsistent everything is. It's just incredible. What a mess. What a match! How does the translation take this long if it's this absolutely messy about it? Like, this kind of sloppy stuff feels like you cranked it out in a week. My days in this adventure are over. I took an arrow to the knee, if you believe it. I can live comfortably teaching the young generation. I'd be settling. Later, the welcoming committee will come for you! Why are you making it sound so threatening? I'll accompany you to your first class after showing you the rest of the place. Have a good day. Gotta get through the classes. Have you already taken an oath? Yes, sir, I did. Before I come here as a teacher. Oh, he took a fucking oath? Man's a paladin? We got a knight here. Me rattling my spoon against my... Look, I got a knight over here. We got a real oath and toaf over here. I mentioned it to the teacher. Something you want to take off your armor, show yourself to others, retire your decision. Out of curiosity, what kind of vows? Vows against savagery and corruption. Welcoming party is doing what? Shouldn't Spears be like, ha ha ha? Yeah. Savagery, corruption. Proud, he shook his head. It's all in the past now. Stop mattering. A long time ago, he thought as he closed his eyes and his composure. Why isn't this narrator text? After spending extra time, Miranda still doesn't know with his meager belongings. Damn! I muttered. Like how we're going to love that fucking rubber band POV. Alright, where are we? Someone knocking on his door before getting out. He deposited his prized possession, a pendant with a photo. A photo? Listen, my man, I know that cameos are not like uncommon concepts in this day and age, but you do know that those were like little drawn sketches. Like, what camera? Magic camera? I guess magic camera. Let's just assume that any technological anachronisms are fucking magic, okay? We got magic. It's just fucking magic. Don't worry about it. At the back of his closet... Hold on. I kind of want to know. Actually, it's possible that in Spanish it also uses the term photo, but the term photo just means a generic depiction. And we're the atheists. Yeah, no one likes to talk about the dick armor. No one ever talks about that part. Everyone's like, oh, boob armor's weird. Like, man, people have dick armor. Can you imagine? It's not even a chastity cage. It's just there for, like, clink, clink, clink. Open the door. The first ability, perhaps. Is this Imperial equipment? Because if this is Imperial, I will say it screams this man's Imperial. I feel like you could have done away with the Kanye, though. For one, weird thing to include, and two, kind of breaks up the outfit, which otherwise is kind of swag. And I like how she's just, like, perfectly modest. I mean, the man looks like Link with a fancy cloak, although the boots are a bit much. I feel like everything else is fine, like in terms of filigree and everything, but then the fucking shoes are like this. It's like, man, how long did they take on those shoes? By the way, I love light blue and yellow. Perfect combination. Extraordinary. Now, there's very modest shit going on here. I'm Naomi, and this is Nasser. We're your welcoming committee. Hell yeah, my brother. The welcoming committee. I didn't like dealing with these reptiles. I contemptuously called them. He had no choice. After all, this area mainly belonged to them, unlike the West. I grimaced as I thought about both sides being equally shitty. Right, do we have another Anon that's like just shitting on humans? Goddamn fucking. It's a delight to meet you. So with a subtle bow. Here we go with Japanese rules. Actually, wasn't it more courteous to like Neo or something? You're going to go dressed like that. For a moment, Anna thought about responding by saying there was just like a court gesture for it to be polite. I feel like you should be polite because this man and his woman look like they, you know. I will not describe myself until I believe I can fulfill my duty. I like how it's not when you've fulfilled your duty. Whenever I feel like I might be able to. Okay, to convince the other masters. I hope that this is not... Hold up. Hold up. Listen. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. So, in Spanish, right? Your teacher is called a maestro. Which does not mean master, it means teacher. So these translators are so bad that even like fairly basic words are escaping their grasp. God damn it. I barely know Spanish. I should not be doing this better than you translation people. As long as you've had no complaints, you keep your armor free of rust that complies with the institution status. I don't think that's a long-ass sentence, man. And the false mask of courtesy. Nah, sir, if you're gonna stab him in the back, just do it already. Scum like her. Oh, it's Naomi's doing it. Think they're superior to everyone else just because of their money, their family. No, it's because of divine providence. They're fancy because they own a lot of land, and they own a lot of land because God said they should own a lot of land, and because God said they own a lot of land, they own a lot of land. It's cyclical. Like, you do know that the concept of kings and nobility is heavily tied in with the concept of the Christian church, right? Or most churches in general. Goddamn. I mean, that implies that Anon's fairly atheistic. Or agnostic, at the least. I like how Naomi's just a bitch. Before she was a bit more like, but here she's like, nah, man, you know, if you polish that every day, I'll be fine. And oath is not to be taken lightly. You don't know what it means. Even for a human, it's an arduous task with the reach of many. What? I like how this oath apparently has like a lot of weight behind it. I will say that for all the crap I've given it, the fact that it's like treating this oath with this degree does imply that if it's gonna ever explain it, great. If not, it's a lot of implicit existence you're hinting at, but never explaining. Isn't there a class that looks good on the outside, but if you look deep, it's pretty? I think you're talking about any wizard that casts enchanting spells. Or bards, I guess. Specialize in that stuff. Although he was annoyed by his casual 1920s casual racism, he was surprised he was reprimanded. He reprimanded his bard on his behalf. I find this very odd. Maybe he's more metropolitan. I forgot how important Knights of the Oath are to you, so I guess Nasser maybe has one? Leaving that aside, better hurry up and show you around the facilities. Time is running out before we start the lesson. Time is running out. And so they did. I appreciate the complete lack of any weight or gravity to the situation. And I realized how prestigious the guild was. After all, wasn't this already implied? Why is Anon like, after all? I guess they are. Wow, didn't see that coming. Plaques commemorating sports and academic events, state-of-the-art facilities for the jousting fields, large sports facilities, gardens with a wide variety of plants. And statues of great heroes and citizens who had made a name for themselves after leaving the guild. Anecdotes, it click his tongue in slight gesture of anger. Man does not appreciate other people who do good stuff. Cast vicious mockery. Ugh. I'm best in the guild. That's right. I'm nothing less than the best. As the son of a chief guard and daughter of greatest merchant. Neither that. I mean, this isn't really nobility. The merchant class kind of uprooted a lot of understandings of what it means to be rich and powerful. Because, you know, it's like, oh, these people have a lot of money, and they're not, like, conquering lands or doing shit in the name of God. They're just, like, buying stuff and selling stuff, and somehow they're making money out of it. And before you know it, you've got the transatlantic slave trading going on, and a whole bunch of people sitting in a boat going, man, we're going to sell this opium. It's going to be so great. Chests full of it. I swear, Hong Kong's going to eat shit. Well, after all, this guild survives on the generous contributions of wealthy people. Shouldn't it be alumni that sponsor this guild? Because they're like, man, I would love it if someone like me would protect me in my future. Oh, so this is all bold. Why is this messed up? Big thanks to the Merchants Guild for bankrolling this stream. I have received $0. Not even a loan. Merchants Guild isn't paying for anything. Better head to class now, you're in languages. I like how it's just called languages. Just okay, listen, hold up. Sorry, Bean's gotta go down. I would like to point out there's a concept in medieval Europe called lingua franca. And you might say, what does that mean? It means that every single noble person spoke French. Why? Because France was the cool country back in the day. That's why it's called lingua franca, because it was French. Everyone in Western Europe spoke French because it was the cool boy language. Well, apparently I don't think it was real French, but whatever. Oh, it means Frankish language. Okay, cool. But basically it's the common tongue. Shouldn't you be teaching that? Shouldn't you just be teaching Anon like the language everyone else is kind of using as an intermediary? I mean, commoners won't speak it, but ironically, the commoners do not speak common. After the tour, everyone heads to their classes. Anon and Naomi accompanies Naomi to languages. I like how, oh my god. I like how they're calling it Oriental armor. But I also love how this man is using superior Nippon steel. Are you surprised to see a samurai? How the hell do either of these people what a fucking samurai is? So you know that's why they're called the Merchants Guild. This takes place in the 1200s, Scary Dave. If you're a historian, please, you may blast us all into the future. Although, actually, it makes perfect sense for a samurai to be teaching a lingua franca, if anything. It also makes sense for him to teach languages in general, because samurai were often dedicated to things like the arts. They were quite the fancy pants. People are like, oh, they're badasses. Nah, man. A lot of them just did the most boring-ass stuff, because the term samurai meant a lot more than just, like, cool warrior dude. It just meant you worked for the boss, and the whole Bushido code also involved, like, writing goofy-ass poetry or something. I understand it also mastered the art of calligraphy. You know, the writing no one can decipher. You think knights are just ignorant muscleheads? Yes, because Anon's one. He's just speaking from experience. Professor. So he's a master, he's a teacher, and he's also professor. And a samurai. Anon-san, would you kindly introduce yourself to class? Oh man, he's not even speaking in goofy English. I'm glad that all it took for Tsuki to speak normal English was to not speak English at all. Samurais are not guns for hire. The Ronin might be, because Ronin were samurais without lords, and therefore would just do whatever it took to survive, which includes being bandits, and in some cases probably mercenary work. The Dread Movenons, okay, Anon's going to show himself to the group. The class, although somewhat difficult. I like how it goes with this thick accent, but he hasn't done anything. I imagine he's like, Anon-san? Listen, sir, my name is just Anon. Although I've been told apparently it's Anon, I will not be changing it. Anyway, they're going to lunch. It's the banquet hall. And then I'm going to grab the cheapest stuff, even so. So, why are you paying for your food, man? Shouldn't food just be provided to you? Like, you're expected to do heavy physical labor. Oh my god, I can't believe Sage is in this. Can I... Listen, I'm a man with... Okay, these shoes do not exist in that area. But more importantly, can I just say I like this Sage? That's a really cute outfit. I like it. Goddamn. Fuck. I didn't think I'd be seeing fashion that makes me... I mean, admittedly, I really like the tunic that Nasa's got going. Oh my god. Well, if a Viking shows up, I'll say sure it's the For Honor timeline where everything's just fucked up. I mean, there's magic, who knows? Or my mistress will punish me. Now is not the time for a threesome. Poor man is a student here, and yet he is a servant. I mean, he's still got a light chest. I mean, admittedly, if we're going for, like... If we are going for trans male Sage, that is very odd to do in this context. I'm squinting. If I had a camera, you could see me squint and wonder... Because I'm very confused. It's like... I would not expect a Spanish person writing about a medieval time period to include trans man Sage. I mean, we don't know, but it'd be a hell of a place to do it. Again, I might as well pull out a skateboard at that point. And how did class go? Many friends? Classes are fine now. I only take my helmet off and I'm in the privacy of my own room. In my own dojo. I'm not interested in making friends. Friends are for losers, nerds, and weirdos. Raptor Jesus, do you have to be so harsh? No, sorry, it's a habit of the trade. On the road, being a knight errant doesn't lead to much conversation, just business. So I try to be frank and get to the point. I'm sorry if I've been rude. Her friend, as soon as I get my license, I'll be leaving. And as a wanderer, I doubt I'll ever see them again, so I'm not interested in cultivating a passing friendship. Man, you're gonna be a loner? Dude, if the action economy is gonna kick your ass! Let's say we're playing too much Cyberpunk recently. Like, as it's only silver and was. Now listen, street samurai are not what you think they are, okay? They're just not. And then they're like, oh, wow, that's pretty fucking sad, Anon. What the hell? Get a life. That's the life of a wandering warrior in Naomi. How do firefighters for my father. It's not a pleasant job, but it's necessary. They're tough people and need to keep the roads in town safe. They're basically soldiers, so we don't have to pay for them. Nasi poo. Oh, I'd like for us to be separated. I'm somewhat confused by this display of affection. Aren't you guys like... Don't you have, like, class? Why am I the one who has class around here? We are not alone. And before I get the wrong idea, I'm sure she's here with this. And before I get the wrong idea, surely you have seen trollops and wenches on your way here. Hold up. Hold up. No, hold up. No. We're not escaping this one. We're not escaping this one. I need to know if it's in here. I think there's like a section on this. Hold up. You will understand when I can find it. Okay, here we go. Surely, Anon, you have come across slavenly trolls, brazen strumpets, cheap trollops, typical streetwalkers, saucy tarts, wanton wenches, expensive doxies, haughty courtesans, aged madams, or wealthy procuresses. So, for some reason, the Dungeon Master Guide for AD&D has a section on, like, city and town encounters, and the section with Harlot has, like, a D100 table for what kind of woman you come across. An expensive doxy might resemble a gentlewoman, a haughty courtesan, a noblewoman, and other harlots may be mistaken for good wives, and so forth. Good wife encounters are encounters with a single woman, often indistinguishable from any other type of female, such as mad accuser, harlot, etc. This good wife, could she be casting spells? God damn. Gygax, you can pretend, but we all know what's going on. Roll for what kind of farm equipment you encountered. I can't believe I found a pitchfork. Yeah, but it was mostly for... Oh, he actually says it's mostly prostitutes looking for clients. That's not nice. You can't just say that about Naomi, man. It's not a pleasant topic while we're eating. I don't want to talk about how my parents got eaten by a dragon, and I thought it was hot. It's so embarrassing. Oh, there's... Hold up. Hold up. Anon's conversation killed Anon's comment killed the conversation, made it comfortable for the couple. You called her a prostitute, man! You can't just do that! I told you, I want the best cuts. Useless peasant, I thought you knew how to cook. Goddamn. What is with all this goddamn filigree? Man, she got a kick-ass pouch, though. That's a kick... Look at them boots! I hate over-the-knee boots. They are so extra and uncomfortable. But I love this design! Look at this! I don't know who does her hair and makeup. Like, none of that makes sense in this context. But I love how she looks like a ranger, you know? Bit of a roguish undertone. She could be anything. Sorry, ma'am. But those are the best cuts available. They're the whole ass of the hog. Mia looks like an elf NPC. You know, fair enough. I don't care about your excuses. I don't care about your excuses. You should have left your classes early. I'm your priority. What are you looking at, scum? That reptile has quite a temper. Anna, you can't just say slurs. You just called Naomi a prostitute. Does she think she's the cutest cat? I'd feel if you didn't call my sister reptile, Anon. I'd appreciate it if you didn't call me a trollop. Fine, I'll just call you a doxy then. I'm losing my goddamn mind. Please send help. She made it look like she's my older sister. Oh, she's the older sister. We're shaking things up. I suppose her rebelliousness and foul mouth are the result of being spoiled as the air before the family burden was passed on to me. Habit of eating meat like a savage villager on Slaughter Day. Slaughter Day? For goodness sake, we're herbivores. That would not work. I'm sorry to tell you, but there are perks to... I pointed this out in a bigger post elsewhere, but, like, you can't just have herbivores and carnivores. The logistics don't add up. There are certain perks to meat eating and certain perks to plant eating that you need to combine them if you want to do something on an industrial scale. Like, why the hell do carnivores participate in feudalism? They're entirely nomadic with how their food supply functions. For goodness sake, all she manages to do is throw up and get stomach aches. If any of the carnivores should all be like the Mongolian horde. Hell yeah. I was felt deaf ears. Wait! So she just eats meat and throws up? I love Mia's gumption. I love that she does not give a fuck. Just like, I know I'm gonna throw up, but hey, a woman's got an image to keep. That's so stupid. I love it. That was great for someone to cover his face. The incredible disgust he felt towards me was almost personal. Not only did she mistrust the weak... What? Mistreat the weak. Having lived around the same people would have killed for a piece of meat. That filthy reptile. Only ate it out of pure arrogance. I can't... You know, for all the shit I give that the original game does nothing with the herbivore stuff, other than that one that's like, oh, she's a vegan, which, again, because it's a satire, I have to assume that's also part of the joke. I kind of like this. I kind of like it a lot. Like, yeah, meat is expensive, so even an herbivore would be eating meat or having meat at least displayed on the dinner table as a show of might and wealth. Like, look, I'm so rich, I can have a whole cow slaughtered and have its meat presented to you, finely curated and served, spiced and more, and I'm not even eating it. You're not eating it either, because I can't eat it. You can't eat what the host can't eat. Man's already ready to start beating ass. Damn, you know, come on, chill. But Spears ought to be aware of the rules of the institution. He couldn't fight, much less kill on the premises. He's only not to fight in regulated duel. He had to let it go for now. After all, it was only first day. He didn't know the mechanics of power in this place. He preferred to say goodbye to the old situation. Finally, an interesting class. We'll consider it to be fencing. Is Yatagan gonna teach fencing? Why is he chocolate? Who dipped my man in chocolate? The teacher was about to call himself D'Artagnan. Or was it D'Artagnan? And the Plateosaurus' French accent difficult to understand. I like how he is a human color of skin. Also, whoever edited the sprite didn't notice his wings sticking out in the back there. I just want to point out... Fucking loser. I like how these belt buckles are attached to nothing. And again, what's with all the filigree? Why is everyone so gussied up in the same way? Why not just show off that people have different cultures by having everyone dress a little differently? You don't need to do much. Alright, students, start the basics. That'll divide you into groups. At the beginning of the year, everyone underwent some basic level tests and proved to be one of the most skilled. So he was separated from the others to fight in practice duels. Oh man, it's Chet! I don't think Chet can fence, though. No offense, with Albuquerque, he looked like a pirate. He is a pirate! Who made this Chet art? That is not Chet at all. So everyone gets, like, art that still looks like them, and then Chet is like someone else. Or did they just get new Chet art? Did they get new Chet art and I was just never told? Is there an update I missed? They turned the Atticon into a Red Guard. The West has fallen. Red Guards are good with swords, though. It makes sense that a Red Guard would be a fencing instructor. They get that big sword bonus. And also they're pirates, which gives them an extra bonus to fencing. As a seriously, a land dweller with armor and doing a weapon equivalent to me being secret just like that. I don't think Chet's gonna win this. The problem with Chet is, like, people say, oh, you can dodge. It doesn't work like that, buddy. Not as useful as you think it is. He became a proper shark, yes. No one else, huh? A martial bow of recognition. I feel like you don't understand. That cutlass is useless. Cutlass is a cutting weapon with very awkward stabbing ability. You can't even properly half-sword it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't see a cutlass ever winning or doing anything. It's just gonna bounce off again and again. Chainmail can stop a cutlass pretty well, too. Especially since there's a gamberson on it. Like, again, plate mail's busted. You need to use a dagger, buddy. I like how why aren't you guys using training weapons anyway? Like, wow. Just using actual swords. Anyway, Chet gives up. Dartigan. I gotta say, I do like the name Dartigan. Actually, I wonder if I put this into Google Translate, will it spit out, like, pronounceable French?
D'Artagnan.
D'Artagnan! Fine, Mr. D'Artagnan. Anon satisfied. Anon satisfied! That's all we get! What the hell? I like how we're name-dropping characters left and right. Yeah, the original's also Anon Satisficio. Dang. I guess his name is no longer Moose, he is now Anon Satisfied. Quickly swung the sword to remove any remaining debris. What debris? Put it back. Jeez, shit, I'm sorry about your sword. It really was a magnificent sword. Oh, he clipped it in twain. Oh, he cut the man's sword? It's a cutlass. It's not made for that. Like, come on, Anon, this is just mean. As martial artists, we both know this can happen. Now, I'm not stupid. Martial arts, we know I like to associate that with certain types of Eastern unarmed combat methods, but in truth, martial arts are any fancy stuff. It's called, what's it called again? Medieval martial arts? Whatever. Was it historical medieval martial arts? Historical or European martial arts? Hema, yes. You were supposed to such cut your real ace with the sword. The Commodore for a new pair. I always wanted to try dual swords. Sure, but don't complain if I got those too. So, is Chet a reptile? If he's a shark, then he's not like a traditional reptile, right? D'Artagnan. Garçon! Wait, what was that? A lightning breath attack. So I used the empty sword technique. It was very advanced, but he taught me the theory and tried to replicate, but he didn't touch these before I got here. Use the lightning technique momentarily for a decisive attack. Goodbyes are always set. Garçon! I want you to try something. It's just a skill test, don't worry. If you miss, you'll die, though. It's alright. Jin Nelson was the most advanced student in fencing. Like, I don't think you can fence someone in full plate with a sword against a guy with a cutlass, though. That's not how fencing works. Or dueling, I guess, is more the point, because it's not really fencing either. Also, do you people know that, like, the art of fencing and the rapier, like... Rapiers came about, like, after the medieval period already ended. They're very odd weapons. That's why there was a zzzt there. Chevalier! Plonk. Exhale with his eyes. But a bit more than half the music is interesting. I guess I haven't mastered it yet. Au contraire, garçon! A lack of refinement, but potential is frankly terrifying. Messy Chipperfield tells us they get nowhere near. I like how they just have these laying around. They're not in the closet or anything, just like out in the room. I'll give you a pass for your last class. Why did they have hall passes? What? What? Moon fast by in a flash. Sunset. Tavern looks decent. Is his friend with him now? I have a tank in my armor. Gross! Don't need to hear that. The androgynous blue baryonyx. It's not how I write that, but... I like how this is called extravagant clothing. I'm Nick, nice to meet you. Seriously, never take it off, not even for a maiden or anything. Okay. But it's not. I haven't sought out a maiden. Be super easy for him to find a maiden, though. Get we're out of prostitutes. We're doing a lot of weird stuff with this setting, and I kind of dig it. It's kind of wild, you know, a little loose, little shoelaces untied and everything. Chet and Nick only just assure call us at their statements. Bitrosaurus. Oh, they want to know if Anon's killed anyone, I guess. Dude. Be careful with your sword, man. You have to oil that to keep it from rusting. I like how the amount of people that don't understand, but like back in the day, you had to oil your weapons and equipment and tools. Your axes, you had to oil them! Because they were made of non-stainless steel. They're made of iron. You had to oil them up so they didn't rust. So it wasn't exactly peaceful, but the Western regions of survived by war. Tell me about Nasa's sister. Where did they play? Wait, Fang? What a weird way to circumvent the whole phone thing. Hold up. Has Fang come up yet? Because I'm kind of surprised they would bring this up. Maybe because I skipped a bunch of stuff. No, this is like the first time Fang got brought up. Nasa's sister, though. My sister brought up? Oh, this came up a little earlier, yeah. Kind of skipped over that when, yeah. I also want to invite people today. So we're doing this a little different. Like, the tiny differences do add up. Capcom removes the weapon oils for sword. They're not oils for making the weapon better. They're for preserving they're like a surface isolation coating. To keep the metal from not being exposed to air. I don't have to look at chat. Also, if Anon's mumbling would make a lot of sense if he's in like a metal helmet. So I'm just saying. They play music! Better way to make your decision. So getting impatient, whispering out. So we're not doing the character art introduction for this? I like how the narrator has a little bit of spunk to him, if you can call it that. He thought it was horrible. Listening to the agonizing screams after a fight. Chet is foaming at the mouth. Man's having a seizure. But I know if it was a local style. It's easy to recognize someone who wasn't wearing doesn't suits them. Bass and thing. Wow, Anon just knows everything. Also, how the hell do bass guitars exist? What's it plugged into? He's using a fucking cello. Like Anon complains about what they're wearing. Even though we get no description on their outfits. So their response was drowned out by the crowd's haunting and continuous insults to his own. A half-cooked potato. They got the New World taters in 1200. I mean, I guess it's probably Pangea if anything. And I'm fed up with all the shit. And I was like, man, stop shouting. It just pelts a guy with a potato. What's this guy's problem? Seeing fellows like screaming lizards and trying to have a civilized conversation. Gonna rip your arms off, you little sardine in a can. That's a good complaint. You're just a weak human dressed up in armor. You stole from some dead body trying to look tough. And if you're still conscious, you too, Chet. Stuck at the protruding piece of his sword. Man, that's kind of cute. Man, Anon just fucking knocked this guy out in like one swing. What a smooth move. What a slick McDick we got here. Guy's got those moves. Any other brave souls like Rika Tune? Peace. Can't believe Nick's a guy. I enjoyed Nick playing. It was masterful. Just make out already! Well, interesting. Apparently Nick is missing something. Well, I gotta say. Minerva McGonagall? We're bringing in Harry Potter? Oh my god! The Stella Baudelaire are... Oh, that is a cute... I mean, it's... Why is Snape here? Why is Randy Snape? I love this Stella art, though. It's really it's really low-key. It's not too much. Got anyone else here? We got Reed, who's of course a druid. Interesting choice. Why is there a person dressed in a... Okay, so I guess the clothing tech level is whatever the hell. Whatever the hell the art allows. Oh my god, it's Rosa. And then we get Mia in full battle gear. I gotta admit, the art does kind of help spruce this place up a little bit. It adds just that little extra lick of color. Snape kills Dumbledore. But who is Dumbledore? I don't think Spears is gonna take it from a guy like him. This man posted a D&D tabletop battle map. Again, I really like this Stella. The Stella's so cute. Like, there's some cute art in here, man. It adds a lot. Is there more art? Oh, there is more art. Nasser in full gear. Dang, guy looks different. Very different from Mia. Why is Rosa dressed like that? Amazona. And the cross. Man, Jesus. You know, I give him shit, but I honestly feel like the translation is a bigger problem than anything else. Because this translation is terrible. Would I personally try to learn Spanish just to provide a better translation? No! Are you crazy? Do you have any idea how much experience I need with Spanish just to give a decent translation? Let alone a good one? It's a fool's errand. However, I'm a little tired today. I'm a little tuckered out. We'll probably do Chapter 2 tomorrow, because, you know, that's the polite thing to do. There's no more art after a few chapters. That's a shame. But yeah, I feel like if I have to give my thoughts in brief, it's the translation needs serious work. And just the formatting needs seriously a second rundown. Yeah, I say groovy at some point. Yeah, just like that worm guy. But yeah, you know, the translation's not good, but I like the core premise. Like, the setting does stuff. Okay, apparently, Scary Dave's got some art. Let's go look at that and call it a day. Oh, Jesus. Ease up there, buddy. I don't need that much art. Alright, we start off with Snoot Game Encore. How interesting. Bold new marketing strategy. Behold, our newest band arrangement. Double bass. Trish, that's not a band arrangement. That's pornography. You sure this will improve our band? Our band? No, Trish. Snoot slander. What the heck? You heard Lucy have a band-aid. Sarcasm, big clumsy today. Yeah, for mommy, don't cry. It's a nugget. I say no. What is this? Task failed successfully, and just gives her a lick. Okay, I don't like the tutorial. Selfie for Inko. Oh, that's cute. I'll save you my angry rants today. Size doesn't matter. You say, is that Luna? Is that Luna? And then there's what's her name again? Bay. You can't just bring Bay onto this, man. Just bring Bay into this. Naomi put angry. Man, that's some nice art. That's like a pretty decent thing. Oh, those wings look terrible. Except my low no. You owe me tears. What does it even mean, man? Keychains. I ended up using the wrong design for the keychains. Aww, man. Y'all remember this movie? Guitar practice. Almost looks like a tarot card, actually. In honor of Trans Awareness Week, which trans character is your favorite here? Why isn't Fang on this listing? I know that people like... Non-binary still means you're trans. You don't get to escape it. What a listing. We got the imp thing. Apparently told the hair means something. And we got the guy from Rocco's Modern. Then we got, of course, Sage. Who has, like, the one... look, Rose is there! So why isn't Fang here? Who's the sheep? Is that a wolf in sheep's clothing? And we got a whole big list. Man, I prefer when you add some subheaders. It makes it easy for me to subdivide this stuff and make some work out of it instead of going at it all at once. Hey, Snook Game Encore, instead of posting all this shit, how about you finish up? Or odds are whoever's running the Twitter is like a whole different guy. Fan cosplay? I want to hug that gator. I mean, fan cosplay's like... Live action Manoa? When the hell did Moana release anyway? It was way too early. The Steam Machine Rainbow Skin. Hell yeah, I'm all for it. I love the anger brows. Is that a big wheel? Oh, you can't do that. What the heck? E2 Fang. Interesting. These outfits. Why does Nasser look like he goes honk shoe at night? Oh, dead ass spider. I don't know what you're up to. Yippee. I feel like half the fan cosplayers being unhealthily skinny. You're halfway there. How about that? All right. Should be almost there. Waiting 1,000 more reps and one will be real. What art is that? Who's this butch lesbian, Olivia? Fix this. Can I leave now? Can't just have Amber do that, man. I just remembered about this one I Want to Hug That Gator Cry of Fear crossover I plan to make? What a concept. Came on for no reason, taking a one-sided culture war against Canadians. Why are they shooting themselves? Like, listen, as I have grown more mature with my understanding of things, I do feel that Snoot Game and Wani have their issues. They're not great. But I still think they're, like, holistically better than Goodbye Volcano High, because Goodbye Volcano High never feels like it actually had a point. I mean, if anything, they shot themselves over the whole Wani thing. I'm trying to peel that together and just make it the same game a second time. Oh man, the fang with the tongue out and the fingers up. If only they spent the time on something else. Caveman, where's my goddamn Olivia plush? Oh, apparently there were issues with that one too. Now we're almost done. I can go home and get some sleep. Actually, I'm already home. The only sleep I'm not getting is up to me. Fast sketch, that's cute. I've just been wondering who asked. There's this picture of Fang official. Similar pose was used in the sprite. But the sprite is on Lucy's art station. So, I never really thought about this, but the Volcano High, the Goodbye Volcano Highs one do have human feet. And I always feel like if you're going to do anthropomorphic designs, you kind of want to avoid showing feet. But then I realized that Stella walks around barefoot. And the reason I want to avoid showing feet is there's just something, I just feel like you gotta go somewhere with it, right? But on the other hand, everyone always wears shoes, so it shouldn't really come up. You know? It's like, the hands are like a way more like you have to make that decision, right? But the feet are like in shoes or socks, or they're out of frame. But it's also like, you look at human feet and you're like, this is very human, right? There's a part of your brain that just goes... Holy shit, 2 plushies. You can't just beat the shit out of your girlfriend. That's wait a minute. This is textbook domestic violence. Don't ask why Fridge Stella's barefooted. The Gabe Cube. Don't worry, little Snoot fans. Enough fan kids and fake fans on Baru to last your entire life. I personally don't like the Fang voice, but they couldn't get it better. Hold up. Are we talking about the Encore Fang voice? Because I don't... It's scary if you got a good link for, like, the Encore Fang voice. Because I am kind of curious. Because I haven't really been doing too much with that. I kind of want to get surprised by it when we get there. But on the other hand... It'd be fine if I figure it out now. I will say, I mentioned before that if I look at good stuff, right? If I look at good stuff that inspires me, then I often end up wanting to write. And this stuff has left me wanting to write. And I feel like, of all things I can say, despite the poor translation, if I look at this and go, man, I kind of feel like writing a little bit right now. That's all I need. That's the whole A to B to C to D. So yeah. Wait, where's this? Hold up. Where's this? Hold up. It's not showing me something. Yeah, it's not showing me withheld posts. Is it withheld? No, it just didn't show up until now. The problem is, if you go somewhere with it at some point, it sets out a free poetry and then he puts obsessive fetishization. Yeah, I know. But to me, it's like I can understand boots, right? But it to me, it's like something in my brain goes, okay, this is just weird now. I can understand snoots. I can appreciate claws. I don't like the wings. I've already made my opinion clear on the fact that they have 6 limbs. One way when I get my things over up to so yeah, man, go nuts. Go nuts. Like the funny part is, right? I got a character, Ophinia, and she wears normal boots that imply she has normal human feet. But I often like to go with when the boots are off, she has feet that do not fit in those boots. And the whole joke is that they are like proper, you know, more like proper avian feet. But when the boots go on, it's like you can't tell and it doesn't fit and doesn't make any sense. And the whole joke is, why do you care? Why are you looking? The whole joke is if anyone brings it up, I get to fucking, subtweet them going, this guy's really into feet, ain't he? That's the gag. No art of this exists yet, though, so don't think you can find it. But imagine if it did. Well, Scary Dave can't find me what I'm looking for. Then we'll just have to wait until Encore comes out. If Encore comes out, because as I've said 1,000 times before, I don't know if Encore's ever going to happen. And honestly, I'll be happier if it doesn't, because I feel like for all the good Encore can add to the world, it's also the kind of situation I'm like, what are you really getting out of it? Adding all this stuff, I have to go play the whole game again. I don't know, man. I think I'm just being a little pedantic. I'm just a little worried because they put in so much effort. They got all the backgrounds and the character sprites and the thises and the that's, and they put in all the work. And I'm like, I'm just a little worried that what's going to come out the other end is going to be, you know. Miyazaki student, they have a thing for feet. Encore does hightail, rug pulls, and then the money runs out. Come back like nothing happened. Getting the right part, getting the right part working is half the battle. Sure is. Sure is. So like I said, we'll be doing the chapter 2 tomorrow. I think there's only 3 chapters in English, anyway. 4! So, let me get this straight, right? I mean, to be fair, they've been updating this over the course of like a month or two, so yeah, it's fair enough that chapter 4 came out recently. Apparently, chapter 2 came out yesterday. Chapter 4 came out yesterday. Great. Ghost and the Snoot updated to chapter 13 recently, too. Yeah, Ghost and the Snoot now has 13 chapters. I honestly feel like I don't want to see the end of Ghost in the Snoot. I genuinely don't. I feel like Ghost in the Snoot works better if you leave it hanging. I feel like it's one of those stories where you can't just end it. Whatever ending you write, it's going to be garbage. No one's going to like it. Man, this guy's like, I'm so tired of traveling, and then he's like, I'm gonna go out traveling tomorrow. What the hell's wrong with him? I found a 3 hour video on Snoop Game. What a concept! I could use a little Snoop myself. And we could all use a little fang. Hey now, you're a hey now, get your hey now, hey now. Well, either way, thank you all for coming. I hope you come by tomorrow. We're going to be doing it at the 2 hour slot, which, in case you think don't know about it, 6 hours before. I don't even know, man. I don't know. You'll see when it comes up. You'll see when it comes up. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I feel like this one's got some potential. The translation is terrible. Terrible translation. But the core is great. I like how Sage is dude apparently, or mistaken for dude. And Nick's a guy. Like, and Sage is some sort of androgynous unisex race like elves or dwarves. Fuck yeah. Also, I must. You got me. I'm the kind of person who feels that female dwarves should have beards. Okay. You can't just have that ass. You know, I do like how the mountains on the left side came out. I mean, it's a bit of a simple way to draw mountains, but I like it. Some of that on the mirror. Oh yeah, change. That's the get out of here. Huh. You know, ask a dwarf what's in his pants. It's gonna be rock and stone. We got digging to do. What are you thinking about? Why are you humans so weird? Every time you walk up to a human with your pickaxe just shoved down there, they're like, "Oh, you're happy to see me?" It's like, no. I'll be happy to see you once you come down into the mines with me. We got humans are just weird, man. They can't get their head out of their pants. Their pickaxe head is just stuck there. I just realized the dude who made Snoot Game with voices hasn't uploaded in a year. How strange. Is it me? It could be me. Man, imagine if it were me. Well, I don't want to keep you guys forever. And thank you for the like. I always appreciate getting licked. I appreciate getting licked. Anyway, I can't just expect you guys to end the stream for me. So I'm gonna end the stream on my terms by going ooh ee ooh ah ting tang walla walla bang bang ooh ee ooh ah ting tang walla walla bang bang ooh ee ooh ah. I appreciate your lives, dude. My lives? I only got one. I only got one.